This image shows the front cover of a CD-ROM bundled with Amiga format magazine, specifically 43, issue 43, September 1999. It's a dense, wonderfully late 1960s artifact, so let's unpack it carefully. Overall context and purpose. This is not a retail game box, but a cover insert for a magazine cover disc. In the late 1990s, Amiga magazines regularly shipped with CD-ROMs packed with demos, utilities, music tools, and experimental software. The design is trying to scream value, technical ambition, and creative potential all at once. The CD is clearly aimed at enthusiasts and power users of the Amiga platform rather than casual gamers. Branding and identification. At the top left we see Amiga format 43, issue code AFCD43, date September 1999. This anchors the disc historically, right near the end of the Amiga's commercial life, when the platform was sustained largely by a passionate community rather than mainstream industry backing. Main feature highlight: LithTech demo. Dominating the upper right is the headline, LithTech demo. See the killer 3D engine being ported to the Amiga. This is a big deal for the time. The LithTech engine was a modern 3D engine used in contemporary PC games, and porting it to the Amiga was ambitious, bordering on defiant. The wording suggests optimism, maybe even bravado, proof that the Amiga could still play in the 3D big leagues. To reinforce this, 4 small screenshots are shown. First-person shooter environments, armed characters, industrial corridors and outdoor combat scenes. They resemble PC shooters of the era, Blood 2, Shogo, No One Lives Forever, signaling technological parity rather than nostalgia. Visual centerpiece, the abstract figure and keyboard. The central image is striking and symbolic, a faceless, multicolored humanoid figure, pink, yellow, purple gradients. The figure is emerging from or interacting with a large synthesizer keyboard. This is not literal, it's metaphorical. It represents creativity, digital art, music production. The Amiga as a multimedia instrument, not just a gaming machine. The pose, one hand raised dramatically, the other planted on the keyboard, suggests performance, control, and expression. It's almost conductor-like, theatrical in a very 90s CGI way. Music focus. Bottom left text block. Music collection. Over 30 music programs. Includes demo audio tracks. Comes with a new tutorial. This reinforces a core Amiga identity, music creation. The Amiga was legendary for trackers and sound tools, and this disc leans hard into that reputation. It's speaking directly to musicians, demo scene artists, and tinkerers. Internet access pitch. On the left side in bold yellow, free internet, Abel gratis reader offer. This dates the disc perfectly. Internet access was still a selling point, not a given. Abel gratis suggests a sponsored or limited-time ISP deal bundled for readers, an early example of magazines acting as gateways to the online world. Software quantity and value messaging. Across the bottom, all the best new software. More than 24,000 files. More than 2,900 directories. On the lower right, a yellow badge boasts more than 20 great projects with varied system requirements. This is classic magazine disc marketing, overwhelming abundance. The message is simple: you're getting a ridiculous amount of stuff regardless of whether you'll ever use all of it. Design style and era markers. The design is unmistakably late 1990s. Loud color gradients, chunky fonts, crowded layout, CGI humanoid art, yellow burst stickers for emphasis. It prioritizes excitement over clarity. Every inch is selling something. Cultural and historical significance. This cover is quietly poignant. By 1999, the Amiga was no longer a mainstream contender, yet this disc radiates confidence, creativity, and technical ambition. It reflects a community that refused to let go, still experimenting with 3D engines, still making music, still pushing hardware limits. It's not nostalgia bait, it's defiance. In short, this image captures the Amiga spirit at its most stubborn and inventive, a platform powered not by market dominance, but by belief, experimentation, and a deep love for making things work against the odds. This is the back cover/contents panel of the same Amiga format cover CD, and it complements the front perfectly. Where the front is loud and aspirational, this side is practical, instructional, and reassuring. Almost a contract between magazine and reader. Overall structure and intent. The layout is divided into 3 main promotional blocks on the left, a software screenshot showcase on the right, and legal/technical text at the bottom. The entire page is titled bluntly and confidently, Contents. No poetry here. This side exists to answer one question. What exactly am I getting on this CD? Left column, 3 calls to action. The left side uses repetition as persuasion. Every section begins with get, framing the CD as something that does things for you. 1. Get connected. This section promotes free internet access via a new ISP called Able Gratis. Key points. Hook up to the internet for free. Full details on this CD. This reflects a transitional moment in computing history. Internet access is no longer exotic, but still novel enough that free access is headline-worthy. The CD isn't just software, it's a gateway to the wider digital world. 2. Get in the picture. This promotes Photofolio, described as an image cataloging tool, a processing package, designed to organize large image collections. The wording strongly suggests an audience already dealing with lots of digital images, scanned photos, renders, demo scene art, textures. This is aimed at creators, not casual users. The phrase, "the great new image cataloging and processing package," is pure magazine optimism, but it also shows how seriously Amiga users took multimedia workflows. 3. Get busy. This is the most community-driven section. Over 140 megabytes of reader contributions. An open challenge. Do you think you can do better? Encouragement to submit creations back to the magazine. This reinforces the participatory culture of Amiga computing. Users weren't just consumers, they were expected to contribute code, graphics, music, and experiments. Right side, software in action. The large screenshot montage shows a classic Amiga desktop environment. Multiple overlapping windows, a file browser listing assets, thumbnails of images along the bottom, a central preview image showing a glowing textured sphere against a cloudy background. This visual communicates several things at once. The Amiga multitasking desktop is still alive and well. This CD contains serious creative tools. Image handling, previews, and asset libraries are front and center. The aesthetic, window chrome, fonts, and UI elements is unmistakably late 90s Amiga OS. It's functional, dense, and unapologetically nerdy. Bottom center, technical disclaimer. This section reads like a polite but firm handshake. It states, the CD has been scanned and tested. Users should still run a virus checker. Backups are recommended. No responsibility is accepted for data loss. This reflects an era where viruses were a real concern. Software distribution via magazines was trusted but not blindly. Users were expected to understand basic system hygiene. It treats the reader as competent, not fragile. Bottom right, manufacturing and support details. This section includes instructions for replacing defective CDs, a physical postal address in the UK, confirmation that the disk was made in the UK, the compact disc digital data logo, branding for future publishing, copyright date 1999. This grounds the CD in the physical world: postal mail, manufacturing runs, customer support via letters. It's a reminder that software distribution was still a tangible logistical operation. Design and tone. Compared to the front cover, fewer colors, more white space, heavy reliance on bold typography. The tone shifts from excitement to clarity. This side is about trust and usability rather than spectacle. Cultural snapshot. Taken together, this back cover tells a clear story. The Amiga community is still creative, connected, and collaborative. The Internet is becoming central, but isn't yet assumed. Users are expected to create, organize, submit, and experiment. The platform survives on shared effort rather than corporate momentum. It's less flashy than the front, but in some ways more revealing. This is where the everyday reality of late-era Amiga computing lives. This is the inside cover/navigation map of the same Amiga format CD-ROM, issue 43, September 1999. Think of it as a visual legend for the disk's structure. Half artwork, half user manual. It's deceptively simple, but it reveals a lot about how Amiga users were expected to interact with software at the time. Overall concept. The dominant visual is a stylized CD viewed from above, divided into colored segments like a pie chart. This isn't decorative fluff, it's a functional metaphor. Each color represents a category of content on the disk, and the legend on the right explains what each segment means. Instead of folders and file names, the CD is presented as a map. Very Amiga, very human-centric. Top right, identification. Once again, the branding is crystal clear. Amiga format, 43. Issue code, AFCD43. Date, September 1999. This consistency across all sides of the packaging reinforces that this disk is part of a curated, serialized experience, not a random compilation. The color-coded content system. On the right-hand side, the legend explains the segments. System, light gray. Cover disks, orange. In the mag, yellow. Reader stuff, pink. Screenplay, red. Serious, purple. Websites, blue. Audio, green. This taxonomy is fascinating. It tells you what the editors thought mattered. There's a clear distinction between fun, screenplay, and work, serious. Reader stuff is elevated to the same level as official content. Websites gets its own category, acknowledging the growing importance of the Internet. Audio stands alone, reinforcing the Amiga's long-standing role as a music machine. This is not accidental categorization. It's editorial philosophy encoded in color. The CD illustration itself. The disk graphic is deliberately imperfect. Soft gradients, slight texture, uneven color transitions. It looks printed, not sterile, almost painterly. This mirrors the Amiga ethos. Creative, tactile, expressive, even when dealing with digital media. The central hub of the disk is rendered realistically, grounding the abstract colors in a physical object. You're still holding a thing. That matters. Repeated insert disk motif. Across the background, you see the phrase insert disk repeated in a diagonal pattern alongside large arrow shapes. This does a few things. Reinforces the idea of action. Put the disk in and explore. Adds motion to an otherwise static page. Feels almost instructional, like signage or wayfinding. It's subtle UX design on paper. Bottom section. Manufacturing details. At the bottom, compact disc digital data logo. Future publishing branding. Manufacturing note, made in the UK. Date code, AF/127/9/99. Again, this ties the disc firmly to a specific time and place. There's pride here. This is a British product for a technically literate audience. Design philosophy. What's striking is how much effort went into helping users understand the disk before using it. This was necessary in an era when auto-run was unreliable. GU is varied wildly. Users often navigated content manually. Instead of assuming simplicity, the design embraces complexity, but organizes it. Cultural subtext. This insert quietly says, you are expected to explore. You are expected to understand categories. You are trusted to navigate a large, complex dataset. No hand-holding, no oversimplification. Big picture. This image is a perfect snapshot of late 90s Amiga culture. Rich, dense content, editorial curation, community involvement, a belief that users want to understand how things are structured. It's not just a disk index. It's a declaration of how computing ought to feel, exploratory, expressive, and a little bit nerdy in the best possible way. This is the actual CD-ROM disk itself from Amiga format, 43, issue 43, September 1999. After seeing the cover, contents page and insert, this is the physical heart of the whole package. It's understated compared to the cover art, but it's quietly confident and very on brand for the era. Overall appearance. The disc is dominated by a bold red-orange background that fades slightly toward the edges. Across the top half run thin horizontal lines, giving the surface a sense of motion and structure. The design is clean, modern, and deliberately minimal compared to the busy cover insert. It looks less like a toy and more like a professional tool. Branding and identification. At the top, Amiga format in red lettering. Across the lower half, 43 in large silver-gray type. The number 43 is subtly integrated near the bottom of the word 40. The typography is bold but restrained. This disc doesn't need to shout, you already know what it is. Publisher and format marks. On the left, Future Publishing logo. On the right, Compact Disc Digital Data logo. These act like stamps of legitimacy. This isn't a home-burned CD or a demo scene release. It's professionally pressed, mass-produced media. At the bottom, AF/127/9/99. Made in UK. That date code firmly anchors the disc in late 1999, a moment when CD-ROMs were the dominant way to distribute large software collections. The central hub. The clear plastic hub and black locking mechanism are fully visible. This reminds you that the disc is physical, mechanical, something you insert, remove, and handle carefully. The light reflections and minor scuffs visible on the surface add authenticity. This disc has lived a life. It's been used. Design philosophy. Compared to the abstract humanoid artwork on the cover, this disc is calmer, more corporate, more tool than toy. That contrast feels intentional. The packaging excites you, the disc reassures you. The horizontal stripes subtly echo the idea of data tracks and scanning lines, reinforcing the digital nature of the medium without being literal. Cultural and emotional read. There's something quietly poignant here. By 1999, the Amiga was no longer mainstream. Enthusiasts relied heavily on magazines like Amiga Format. Cover CDs were lifelines, updates, tools, demos, and community content in one place. This disc isn't flashy because it doesn't have to be. It represents continuity. Another month, another disc, still going. Big picture. This image completes the story told by the other photos. The cover promises ambition and creativity. The contents explain structure and purpose. The insert maps exploration. The disc itself delivers the substance. It's a compact, well-designed artifact from a computing culture that valued depth, community, and hands-on exploration, and trusted its users to appreciate all three.